Okay, it is 5:30. Today is Thursday, January the 15th, 2026, and we are at Poetry Town Hall, 5671 County Road 323, Poetry, Texas. And we are here to have both an executive session and a regular town council meeting. We're going to start out with roll call. Now, we're just for everybody's benefit, we have Secretary Laura on board now, and she has asked to be allowed to come to the meeting tonight to see if she can be a little bit more efficient with the meeting. So she's basically going to literally take notes as opposed to having to watch the video. She feels like that'll be a little faster. So since she's here, I've asked her, she's also going to keep track of the votes and all that, so we don't have to do it or burden a citizen with it. So I've asked her also to call roll. So Laura, will you call roll for us, please?
So they can hear.
Go ahead and turn that mic on. Turn the mic on. It's, I guess we need to get it on the recording.
Okay, the roll call for quorum. Mayor Jaffe.
Here.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Bryant.
Here.
Councilmember Fowler.
Here.
Councilmember Hibbs.
Here.
Councilmember Kendrick.
Here.
We have established a quorum.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is go into executive session. And I'll read the little language here. The town council will convene an executive session pursuant to section 551.074, which of the government code, Texas Government Code, which is to discuss personnel issues and deliberate on employment, evaluation, duties, pay of town secretary, anything related to personnel. This was called by Councilwoman Hibbs. And so, and just as a reminder to everybody here probably knows it, but anybody listening to the recording, during executive session, we discuss things, but we do not take any votes. Any votes that we would take on something that we discussed in executive session would be after we return to regular session. So they are always in front of the public. So we're going to go ahead and turn our audio and video off. Ask the few people that are here. Oh, sorry. I'm getting excited here. Okay, sorry. We did roll call. Yes. Mayor Pro Tem Fowler is going to lead us into pledge and prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day, and we just thank you for everything that you do for us, the blessings that you poured out on this town, Lord. Tonight, we just ask that you guide our conversations, that we keep you at the forethought of all of our business, Lord, that we put you first, and that we put these citizens in the decision-making process, Lord. Help us to give us wisdom and discernment, and we just pray that everybody has a safe trip home. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. If
Do we need to turn our mics off?
yeah, let's go ahead and turn them off or mute them. If you just press it once, it mutes it, or you can turn it off either one. And David, if you'll confirm that we've got video and audio off. Executive banner.
Yeah, but should we deviate from the time that we normally start our meeting?
We don't, what's normal? We start at 5:30. Our meetings for the last few months, that's the standard, 5:30.
But the last time we didn't start until 6:30.
Well, but that's because we had an hour, and I said approximately 1 hour. Today I said approximately 30 minutes,
Okay.
and we're 30 minutes, so,
We landed on time.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how else to do it. I mean, a lot of places just say executive session, figure it out, and they just hold you outside. So I feel like it's a courtesy we're giving the citizens at 30 minutes, so. You're live. And in the past, I've seen them do that, so. Okay, the time is 6:07, and we are jumping back into the regular agenda coming out of executive session. I will give just a quick overview on the executive session. So as we indicated in the agenda, it was to discuss personnel issues. And so what we talked about was our email and computer environment, which is Microsoft, and the need to have someone come in and look at how we've got it set up. We've just lost a secretary, and as we do employee turnovers and things, it's important that we make sure that we manage those turnovers properly and that we continue to protect the town assets, you know, passwords and accounts and remote access and other things. And so we're going to do a little work going forward to see what we can do with our IT company that we have monitoring to help us find any holes that we might have in our current computer environment, with everything from password management to accounts, access, privacy, those kinds of things. So we're going to get an opinion on that, and then we'll decide in a public meeting, in an agenda item, what it is that we're going to do. So that's enough of that. Items of community interest. Ongoing thanks to Hunt and Kaufman County Commissioners and their teams. We've had a little bit of a pause. Some of that was the holidays. Some of it's the cold weather and the work that they're doing for us, ditches and other things. But relationships are still great. We're still on good terms. They're just kind of busy doing other things. But we'll talk more later. Poetry Bingo Night coming up at Poetry Community Christian School, February the 6th. Info and tickets available at poetrychristian.org. I personally didn't attend. Some of you, I think, did. I heard it was a huge success. I was excited that a lot of people showed up, and it was a big deal. So encourage anybody that has that night available to go and check it out. Number 3, we have an important election coming up March the 3rd. We have 2 positions on the ballot at least. There are a number of positions, but the 2 that I'm especially invested in are both for our Hunt County judge. Judge Stovall is retiring. He's currently the judge of the Commissioner Court. He's announced 6 months or so ago he's stepping down. He wants to be retired. And our Commissioner, David Monroe, is also up for re-election. Now, in David's case, he's uncontested. So, you know, he got a pretty good shot. In the case of the Commissioner's Court judge, there is another person, 2 people in the race. So we need to, you know, for me, it's important that, one, we vote. I think as Americans, we should vote, period, especially in our local elections. But also that we understand who our candidates are and what their abilities are. And I'm not going to say in the course of a meeting who it is that I favor other than David. I definitely favor David, but nobody's running against him. But I think that judgeship is important too, because our commissioners need to have a judge that supports them, that understands, and hopefully that's going to continue to support our interlocal agreement, because that's a big deal. You know, that's how we're getting things done. So just a heads up to spend some time becoming familiar with the candidates. And if you want any opinions of me, you can ask me outside of the meeting. And then a reminder that our lawsuit will be heard in the Court of Appeals, oral arguments only, which means only attorneys are allowed to talk. So anybody is allowed to attend this, but don't go there thinking you're going to get up and speak or anything.
Should we also add that to the potential quorum?
We can do that.
I mean, we might as well just cover it that way.
Yeah.
Cover everything, and then
And I
You get
believe,
in the habit of that.
I'm not staring at it obviously now, but I think I created a tab on the website that was like for quorums where I'm just gonna start listing. I think the Christmas one was the first one that I put out there, but
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of cities have that, so you can just go look. So that's a great idea, Dale, and I will do that.
Yeah, like
And I think
the,
I'll go back and do it for other meetings that some of us are a part of, just to be safe.
like the outer loop meeting, because I get emails
Yeah,
from that, so you might want to,
yeah, I want to try to start going to
Yeah.
those.
Okay.
And the Bishopville meeting.
Okay, financial reports. You've got all the regular reports. Again, I'm happy to say we've got the escrow stuff all cleaned up. Hopefully that report is understandable. It ties down to the penny. I did go back and work with Teresa on the 2 county escrow reports and adjusted a couple of project sheets. So when they give us a quote on a project sheet, it is their best guess as to what it's going to take and what it's going to cost. But in the case of one of them, it was $12,060. Well, David doesn't charge pennies, so it was 0, 0. Well, that drives Teresa nuts because
right, she doesn't balance
0,
her.
0 and 60 cents are different, so they
Right.
need to add up. So
Right.
I amended the project sheet. There's no underhandedness here to say 0, 0 because she needs a sheet that shows
Yeah.
the entry. On another one, David did not charge us $500 for a load of asphalt to do potholes. He threw that in when he was doing some other stuff. So that one went down $500. Well, until I corrected the project sheet, Teresa just wouldn't let up. Like, it doesn't match. It doesn't match. Okay. I'll fix the
She's just-
project sheet.
Like,
Just-
she's going to look for 2 cents, I
well,
promise
just be
you.
aware, she
Yeah.
had all those sheets are in her thing.
Yeah.
You can see what they are. Nothing dishonest. It's like when you get an estimate on something, sometimes it changes a few dollars. In the end, everything went down. Nothing went up. It went down. So that's a good thing. So he didn't increase,
Yeah.
but it was important to have those line up. But those sheets are dead on.
Yeah.
And as you can see, we have a fair amount of money on account with both counties right now.
So if you'll look at the budget versus
Yep.
actuals, if you go down to, where is this? 5,900?
Yeah.
No, yes, 6,000, sorry, capital road expenses. And you'll see where 48% is bold. So in both of the capital road, the 6010 and the 6,000. So we have quite a bit of money left. My concern was that we've spent a lot of money, but we always recoup that money every month. What's in escrow? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, we have money coming in quarterly from
Right.
our trash cans, from our sales tax, and from our meters.
Right.
And so we're constantly adding money back to the bucket.
Yeah.
Now there is, if you're really paying attention on page 2, down towards the bottom.
Yeah.
In the 5,900, 6,000 area, 6010, you'll see an entry under actual of $31,303.16.
Yeah.
And then if you look down to 6,100, you'll see a negative $31,303.16.
Right.
That's an in and out entry where some things from the audit were costed to one area when they really needed to be in the other area. So that equals 0. The positive and the negative equals 0. So it doesn't change our balance sheet. It was just done to get things over into the correct category.
Right. Now, was that the one that went back to 2022?
Yes, it was from 2022 and 2023.
Yeah.
Things were incorrect from back then, so this was a correction.
And audit didn't get in there?
Well, they allowed it to be in the wrong category, but Teresa kept making the point that, okay, it's in the wrong category. It needs to be fixed. And so rather than carry that problem along for one more audit, she said, I'm just going to do a journal entry to correct it. So add 31,000, subtract 31,000. It's like adding 0. Right. It doesn't affect our balance sheet, but it gets it into the right category because we have capital expenditure and then we have operating, and it was in the wrong category. So that correction was made.
So have we,
there was conversation somewhere that the road money was gonna actually be in a different account instead of general.
You were gonna hang on.
That's on the agenda.
You're just giving us a preview here. It's
Yeah.
on the agenda. We're gonna talk about it. Okay, so, any questions on any of the financial reports? I mean, I guess it's kind of a 6-month check-in. I mean, are everybody on the council comfortable with the reporting that we're doing financially?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
I think
I
it's
mean, is there
awesome.
anything that you lay asleep wondering that we could provide you? Because I feel like we're giving you everything but the bank statement.
Yeah.
And the reconciliation is really the bank statement.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see it all. And of course, the citizens get this too. You know, my attitude is if they can come down here with a PIR request and give
Right.
it, let's just save the paperwork and just give it to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I feel like we're kind of earning back
And
trust.
yeah, I
so-
think it's working out great because you two are the checkers of the checks because you're signers, and then I come in and I go over the week before the meeting. I go over the budgets and financials with Mike and Teresa also. You know, because I'll find something and I'll say, "Ooh, I got a question." Like the 31,000, Mike caught that one. He's like, "This doesn't look right." So, you know, we're really trying to stay on top of it.
I think we're
So
doing a
there's
good
no
job.
gray area.
Oh, I think more information is better than less.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, and I think also having more eyes on it, right? Because Teresa is really good.
Yeah.
But, you know, we can all make mistakes. So I think it's good to have other eyes. And, you know, I encourage us, me included, to, you know, look this stuff over. I mean, don't get complacent with it. Look it over and every once in a while challenge us on it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Road and traffic update. We're going to talk about a specific traffic item, so I won't talk about that. Roads, as I said, were a little stalled with Hunt and Coffin County on work. They were, of course, motivated at the end of the year. They had extra material, they had some time and all that, so they did a couple of projects for us pretty rapidly. But now they're back to some of the things that they need to do for their own counties. And so they've been doing work on things that they needed to do. But I did talk, Tracy and somebody else asked me recently about 323 out here in front of the town hall, because we did approve that a while back. And I checked with Kelly Lane a couple of hours ago, and he committed to either late next week or early the first of the next week.
Awesome.
They will get
Okay.
that done. And they're actually, we're going to get a little extra than what we paid for because they have a paving machine that they're trying to sell. And they need some videos of it paving. So they're going to bring it out, actually use a proper paving machine to redo 1,000 feet at the far end, which is a disaster.
Hot
And
mix,
so
hot mix machine.
I think they're going to
I
use
think it-
oil sand, but we'll see. Either way, it's going to be nice because that gives you a good edge. I mean, it
Yeah.
makes it look like a real road.
Do you wanna buy it, and keep it on the farm?
Yeah, no. My wife says I can't buy anything. It takes batteries, tires, or eats. So
So under road and traffic, I don't think this document's gonna be discussed later, the traffic county.
actually, I want to. I'm going to put that up.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we gonna discuss it at?
Well, it's part of
It's
the
in there.
accidents and things at that
Yeah.
intersection.
Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be
So
fine.
we're going to
Okay.
talk about it. Anyway, I don't have. I do notice. Just generally, as I drive around, I'm more in the Hunt County side of town than Kaufman. A couple of potholes are starting to reappear on some of the roads, 23, 26, Tom's Road, a few others. So we'll kind of let a few more build up before we get the truck out here because, you know, we don't want to bring them out here for one pothole. But we'll try to stay on top of them.
We're probably fixing to spend some of that escrow money on replacing culverts. I don't remember the road back here that me and you looked at, Long Akins Road.
Oh, yeah, 23, 26.
There's a couple big culverts there, and then Dale asked me to go look at what county road is that?
2464.
2464. That's the one that you and I and we had some help putting the
Right,
rock on the
fixing
end,
hole to the side.
but the bottom
Yeah.
appears to
That's
be
your road.
Yeah.
appears to be rusted out and starting to sink like
Starting to sink a little
2466 did, and all those. So all those culverts are going to be. We need to start watching them because they're all the same age. Granny Verde was all developed at the same time.
Well,
So
as for me, my opinion, I think David Monroe and his team did a great
Oh,
job replacing
yeah.
those. others. I mean,
Absolutely.
they were
Covered.
in and out.
Yep.
It was
It
very
was pretty
cost
major.
effective for us for what they did.
Yep.
I mean, that was
so to that point, some of our escrow money's probably fixing to be
And that's
headed
fine.
that way.
That's
Yeah.
what it's there for. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't think of a better use of that money than keeping the roads going. I mean, that's people's.
But I mean,
Their
I'll have to
primary
monitor
concern.
it
Well,
But
we
it's
got,
still, it's a cul-de-sac, so.
Yeah.
that's 3 now that's
Yeah.
in place
Yeah.
in January. So, I mean, they're all on front timing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 30 years or so, they just, they
So
got
we-
The bottoms are gone.
yeah, so we still have roughly, even what's in, not including what's in escrow, we have almost 80 grand in the road fund. Which is
Okay,
good.
traffic, again, we're gonna talk about the intersection specifically. I haven't really heard a lot about traffic. You know, my prediction is that now that, 3486 has been repaved, Waze and other GPS apps are gonna start sending traffic that way, cause it's gonna see the speed, and that's how the algorithm works. When it sees the average speed increasing, it starts sending people that way. So that road has been quiet for a couple of months while it was rough. But now that it's got a new top on it, it's nice and smooth. I suspect we're gonna start getting more and more traffic, and that's gonna go through that intersection we're gonna talk about in a minute. But I
Well-
really haven't had any big complaints of speeders or anything else. I am encouraged that I continue to see constables and sheriff deputies
DPS.
and DPS. I mean, they're hanging out, you know, they're coming out and making their presence known. So I'm quite sure that helps. Skipping down to activity reports, go around the room. Terry, you'll be next.
Mike, you need to,
I don't really
do we
do
need to
it.
vote on the financials? Motion to accept.
No,
we
not the
haven't. It's
financials.
just a report. We haven't voted on them before. We just review them and discuss them. Activity updates. As for me, lots of random things. Get the dead deer out of my yard and stop hitting squirrels, and you know, I get all kinds of interesting calls. I've had a couple of calls this month, and we're going to talk about it at next month's meeting, that have to do with our map and the ETJ and MIN out, whatever. And we're not going to discuss it tonight, but just know that on the next month's agenda, we're going to be talking about the map again, and we'll see what we come up with. Terry, you don't have anything you can add?
Yeah, I mean, I've met with Monroe a couple times. We've identified some of those culverts. Dale said there's been some new culverts installed that we may be unaware of. So if he's gonna find those and give me the addresses.
I've got a question, I mentioned it earlier. What happens when I see a new culvert go in? Should we call you? One was put in and it's a big wide 30-foot culvert. Because I think at some point we have to enforce our ordinance, correct?
Yeah.
So,
I think at the very least, we need to let people know that one exists.
yeah, and that's
And
probably
that-
the
that-
problem.
That we need them to fill the form out after the fact, and we're gonna inspect it, and hopefully it's compliant, but if it's not, there's at least a small risk that they might have to do something, assuming it's not on a private road, it's in our jurisdiction.
Yeah, it's on a county
and all
road.
of that.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, if somebody puts in a 3-inch pipe on a major slope, I mean, that's gonna be a problem, right? So,
Well, that email that I saw with Terry's recommendations, I mean, is that a discussion, or do we just say it's a good idea? I mean, what are you saying about culverts on private roads and
oh,
not
that's-
county?
We have
we're
no
not gonna- We're not
jurisdiction.
gonna discuss that, but
Yeah.
that's a whole nother thing. Now, I will say, Terry, since you're the culvert czar, which includes ditches, I noticed over towards your side of town where we did those 2 culverts by Dawn Britton's there along that side, somebody has had all that flagged for underground, and I'm not quite sure who's getting ready to work in that right of way. Somebody's getting ready to put something in that right of way, because there's flagging all the way down that road, all the way out to
I
Poetry
think that's
Road.
primarily has been Point Broadband, hadn't it, out here?
Well, they're supposed to fill out a right of way permit.
Uh-huh.
So if you're back there a lot, if you happen to see anybody working, would you just let us know?
Okay.
And Terry or I will go talk to them, because
Okay.
they can't just come digging our right of way. We have an ordinance.
Well,
we
that
have
was the problem
permit.
with that culvert. They came out there and griped because we cut their wires as well. And it was, 20 feet from the fence.
Right. Well, and their wire is actually still up in the air. I noticed the other day, it's still sticking out of the ground. They put some new in, but they didn't clean up the old, so there's
Yeah.
fiber watered up there in the side of the road.
So I still have a question, Mayor, and I understand it may not be on the deal, but if we're talking about culverts, and I just ask a simple question, when is it that we're going to be talking about culverts and being on with their locations and whatnot?
Well, but it's for us to have a deliberation, to have a conversation, whether we take action or not, it needs to be on the agenda because people have to know we're going to talk about it so they can come and weigh
Okay,
in.
I agree.
And
That's-
so simply because it isn't on the agenda, it's not that I don't care, not that I don't hear you, I do. But in fairness to the public, we have to make sure we tell them on this night, we're going to talk about this. Please come and weigh in.
No,
I
I'm-
thought
I'm
we
with-
kind of settled that when we made Terry the Borders are and did the ordinance.
No, there's different.
Yeah, there's a little
There's
sticky
some
wicket on
tweaking.
that. We're gonna figure it out.
We
So
just gotta do
anyway,
some
back to
tweaking.
staff reports. Anything else,
Yep.
Terry? Tom?
I've got one other question. When I did all the signage stuff, I did for markers for all the culverts. So I went through, finding all the culverts is a royal pain in the butt. So my point is, I just got thinking, if you want to, I can send you my list. It'll,
Yeah.
and what I tried to do is kind of pick a house close to the culvert. That way you kind of know when to start looking, but it's amazing how many hours it took to get to the point where I felt like I got most of them.
Well, at some point, we probably need to include stuff like that on a map, not this map necessarily, but on a map that shows us,
Yeah.
sort of like a city manager would do if we had one.
Yeah.
So, Tom?
Yeah, I guess, really it's the zoning issues, which talk with Dale, with yourself, and we'll talk about on item 1 on the agenda some more, but it's the issues of, well, what are we gonna be doing with the zoning, and then how do we interpret it for certain specific
You guys?
examples? And it's, we'll talk about it more on item 1.
Doug, staff report?
Couple of things have come our way. I've been doing some inquiries on CERT because some of the communities have been interested in serving in one capacity or the other. So East Texas CERT, which was my goal to get incorporated, the citizens incorporated with CERT, they kind of had some reorganization following up, and so now the East Texas CERT now is in association with the Rowlett CERT team. So, which is good. And I talked to Steve Howe too about the CERT team in Kaufman County because he was using the East Texas CERT as well. So, with the help of Lauren, it's a last minute deal, but I did get the last minute notification that CERT is having a class. So if you're going to want to be in CERT, you can go to class. Lauren has posted it on our website, and the link to the class, that's February the 7th and the 14th. There are 2 Saturdays that you have to attend those two Saturdays. It's part of the training to be CERT. So that's on the website. If folks are unable to miss, now that we kind of got a leeway of the organization and their future training, we'll keep the community
And for
posted
people
on
that don't know, CERT stands for Citizens.
Emergency Response Team.
Okay,
It's a
so
very
it's basically citizens volunteering to be a part of emergency responder.
correct. They're not only would be able to help us here, but our neighbors as well if the team was ever deployed and needing some help. So it's a volunteer organization, so more the merrier. So that's in the works. Also, in the last couple of weeks, Mayor sent me a letter from email from Texas Department of Emergency Management on TMAT, which is how can I say, it's a agreement that when there's incidents in Texas, that these folks will help us move in and coordinate any kind of help that we have. And with that said, too, the mayor signed a deal, an actually MOU, that not only says that too, that we are part of DMAT, but also if there was anybody like for myself, if I was to volunteer and be deployed through Town of Poetry, then all costs would be assumed by the state. So we're not out any money as far as that go. But talking again with Steve in Kaufman County, he said that's great news that we've signed those documents and that it just quantifies our business and emergency management with the county. So we're doing good there.
Okay, and I just signed that a couple hours ago, so Teresa was scanning it. It's probably in your inbox. So you'll have a copy of that document so you can read through it and see what it means. I mean, generally, I'm trying to stay on top of, with Doug and Terry's help, keeping us plugged into all the management, emergency, fire. I mean, we want to make sure that we're providing safety services and things for our town. So I think, so far, I think we're caught up. I think we're right where we need to be. And in case you forgot, the reason we're working with Kaufman Emergency Management, not Hunt, is because our town hall is in Kaufman County, and that's what determines which emergency management group you tie to. So we are connected to, it's not up to vote, it's
Yeah.
by our address. So we're in Kaufman. Dale?
Nothing new on the signage project. We're just waiting for state approval. We're probably 60 days away from an approval on that. They've been real quiet. But what we are going to do, and Councilmember Hibbs is going to help me, is go to each look at all the intersections and site triangles. And we're going to start looking at that. I've done the one at 2454 64 needs to be cleaned up, which I'll do. But what we're going to do is go and inventory all of the intersections. One, because we have signage coming, it'd be nice as a group of citizens come in there, kind of clean up those corners a little bit, lift some of the canopies. Obviously, if it's on the right-of-way side, we can go straight up and don't have to ask permission. But I think as a courtesy is if we go and talk to the property owners and we lift both sides up, not just one side. So we're going to start working on that. There are some pretty bad intersections that need to be cleaned up, quite honestly. And so we're out and about, going to start identify them and talk to the property owners, and then probably sometime in the late winter or early spring, probably organize some community work days where we'll go in there and clean them up.
Well, the county can help us with that too. I got a request the other day on 2400, for example, along the side of 2400 leading up to 2326. That stuff is starting to grow out into the road, right? And it's attacking delivery trucks, and it's attacking tractors and cars, and so some of that the county can help us with.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right.
When they come out here with that little arm mower, I call them the tree butcher, but it serves a purpose, right? Those trees need to be run back, so visibility and other things. Otherwise, it encourages people to drive on the wrong side of the road, and then bad things happen. So,
but anyway, so we're going to do that to get ready for the signage project. They quite honestly won't even be here till probably the fall.
okay.
Because they still have to go through design. I looked at their last year's project for Fannin County. I mean, the set of plans, the roll of plans was this big. But that's kind of
There's
what
a piece of it that's just maddening to me. It's like you could take a skid steer out there and just push posts in the ground. And
It is, but we do want it right.
I know,
and we're going to get it right.
I want it I want it spec, but it's just like, holy cow! The higher up in government you go, the
slower it gets.
Hey, I mean, I threw out.
They're good people. They just got a lot of overhead. I don't know.
They do, but I threw out a number. I said,
wait.
"Can y'all give me some kind of idea for a stop sign and a couple of street signs?" And I said, is it $250 a sign? He said, "Oh no, 500." Well, he didn't say no, and he didn't say yes. At $500 a signpost.
Wow.
Okay, well, I look forward. Hopefully, they get it done before the next election.
Yeah.
We
That'd
can
be great.
Well,
claim that as
with
finished.
Tracy, you can put it in the budget. Probably about $75,000.
Yeah. Well, y'all are.
If we do it, it's not going to be that expensive. I can promise you.
Yeah.
We're not paving roads these days. We'll take that same energy and put signposts in if we have to. Okay, Tracy, wrap us up on staff report.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap us up. Been working on the cybersecurity stuff, budget stuff. One other thing, I just want you all to be aware, you're probably gonna get an email sometime in February, to be thinking about budget for 2027. Because the plan is to have a budget hearing in July and we shore up our budget in September. So any maps, engineering, whatever cost that you think we might incur next year, be thinking about it because you're going to be asked about it. So
Okay, moving on to consent agenda. We have 3 items. The minutes from the last meeting, our legal bill and auditor's invoice. So if you looked at your packet ahead of time, and I know that you did, you'll notice the minutes look different.
they look awesome.
So we took the opportunity with Secretary Laura joining us to give her a little bit of liberty to kind of start standardizing the look and feel of our documents, but also work through the minutes, which is something we've talked about. So these are for your consideration. If you hate them, we can change them, but the idea is to meet our legal requirement to produce minutes without creating transcription, right? Because we have the video of the meeting. If somebody needs detail, they always have the ability to go back. We hold those as records, and they'll be out there forevermore. In fact, Secretary Laura is helping us with that. We now have, not only are the YouTube videos on YouTube, but they're also on our server in the cloud and other places, because those are records, right? Those are something, and actually by law, we only have to do either a recording or minutes. We do both, right? And so to me, there's no reason to maintain the detail in the printed minutes that's available on the other, so this helps. So, and again, tonight, we're trying even a different technique where she takes notes during the meeting so she can actually produce these quicker. So on the consent agenda, you have those minutes with a new format. If you want to discuss it, we got to take it to regular agenda, otherwise it's going to be under the consent. We have our legal bill, which was 57, was it 50? Yeah, something like 50, yeah, 5449. So that's exciting. Always like it when we get a little one. And I know I'm going a little crazy with this ratifying thing because it's happened 2 meetings in a row, but we had our auditor's invoice came in a while back and it didn't make it to agenda and we needed to pay it. So that was actually paid on 12/24 of 26. I told Secretary Teresa to go ahead and pay it. Pardon?
12/25.
20.
You
Well,
said 26. We hadn't got there yet.
no, the 24th of December
25.
in 25, sorry. Yes, you're
Okay.
right, in 25. I'm
12,
sorry.
24, 25.
Yeah, last year, it was paid right before Christmas,
Okay.
and they actually got the check on the 26th. But I checked, it was a budgeted item. We'd agreed to the budget, right? And the budget was $6,000, and the invoice actually came in at 5450, so we came in under budget. We all heard the results of the audit, so I felt comfortable because I didn't want to punish them. They were good about getting it done quickly and did a nice job, so I told her to go ahead and pay it. So the third item under the consent agenda is to ratify, basically tell me it was okay that I paid something ahead of time. Do we have any issues with the consent agenda, and do I have a motion to approve?
Well, your first, I like the bigger font.
I do too.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
On the minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the shorter minutes.
Good. Well, thank you. Thank you to Secretary Laura for putting that together.
I could read.
We have a new
without-
font, it's Arial,
Exactly.
it's not time, apparently Times Roman is out, I don't know.
It's only taken 4.5 years to get shorter minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
We're
okay.
there.
We got- We're doing what we have to legally do,
Yeah.
but we're not like recording every word. Because you know, when you do the word for word also, everybody's, you get feelings hurt, I didn't say it that way, go watch the video.
Yeah. Go watch
The video's
it.
an accurate capture of what happened, this is just a summary. So anyway, motion to approve consent agenda,
Yeah, motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
motion by Tom, do we have a second? Second by Terry. Okay, all in favor of approving consent agenda?
Aye.
Agenda items? Okay, unanimous. Thank you, council. Okay, moving down to regular agenda. Number 1 is, by the way, if anybody came in late and wants to speak, if you'll just write on the report there on the deal, be happy to let you talk on any of these. So far, I think I only have Haley for number 2. Haley, are you out there?
Yes, I'm back here.
Okay, I think you wanted to speak on item 2, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I didn't think
If anybody else wants to speak on the others, we're good with that. Okay, item 1, discuss current status of effort to create a draft of an updated zoning ordinance. Again, we're just kind of checking in to see where we are. Tom offered us a red line. Anybody have any comments on, I think he was mostly, I printed out the one that showed what had changed so you can kind of see what he took in or took out or whatever. Anybody have any comments on that?
There was one that I missed, by the way, over on the definition of acreage,
Okay,
and
what page?
I'm looking for it.
And again, we're
Mark
not, just for everybody that's watching or listening, we're not changing the zoning ordinance here. We're coming up with a proposal for, zoning ordinance 2.0 or whatever you want to call it, that will have to be voted on and noticed to the citizens and hearings. We're going to go through all that, but first we have to come up with, what
Okay.
we want to propose.
Like on page 10 of the red line,
Okay,
comes down about halfway, it says acre. It says an acre of land consists of 43,560 square feet. Using these regulations, acreage is, it shows net, not gross. It actually should say acreage is the area comprised by an acre of land,
Yes.
which includes areas occupied by streets, alleys, and driveways.
so cross out net and
Okay.
gross or
Yeah.
not gross.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just, my feeling is, this is my opinion, is, to make it simpler,
It's on page 10 of the
make 10 on the redliner version.
line version.
And also to make it so that a person who's looking at this doesn't have to go to a lawyer to interpret it. But I think in general, the more we can make it so a person who's not a lawyer can read it and understand it, we're better off.
Right.
And in doing it, and making it simpler and easier to understand, there's a third criteria, and that's legal.
Right.
And to make sure that what we have has got legals. And there was some things that marked out that, for example, ETJ wording took that out.
Yeah.
And anyway, I went through this, and you can see my markups, and happy to go through it or answer any questions on any of it. This is my opinion. And doesn't represent anybody else, as they say.
Well, let's not go through it word for word. Does anybody else on the council, having reviewed it, have any comments? I mean, is Tom going in a good direction?
Yes,
Did
Tom,
he-
Tom is going in a good direction. I'm going to say that. But we had some language issues with it. So, like on 1.3, at the bottom sentence, ordinance or as otherwise exempt by state law, that should read to the extent authorized by state law. So there's a lot of that in this document that it's just, I don't know how I'd even say that. It's just not written correctly, if that makes
Tracy,
sense.
you can add your red lines to this.
I was going to
Okay.
say, would you be willing,
Okay.
Tracy, to go into the document? It's a live document.
Sure.
And add yours, and it'll keep track of Tracy's comments.
Who
versus
said
Tom's.
what, yes.
Cool.
So it'll show. So why don't you take the next pass,
Okay.
if you would, and just kind of add in what you think, and then we can go back.
Is this a combination of both of y'all's? what
No,
we're
yeah,
looking at?
We have his
It's just
and
his.
now
Just
Tracy's. You already have mine.
Okay.
And
So on 13.6, one main building on a lot or a track, I'm guessing
get
it
there.
used to say 2.5 acres and it's been changed to 1.0 acres.
Well, yes, I guess, that's what I struggle with at this point. And again, of course, when you look at what we're about to talk about, number 2, initially went through trying to do some of the language cleanup and stuff like that. And so I struggle with, is now the time to start dealing with material changes versus waiting till after we finish item number 2? And that's because that's really where the material changes.
Because that's material.
That's material, yeah. And that's going to require.
That's not cleaning up the document.
it's not
That's-
the word.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
that's my same struggle. So I always kind of thought maybe let's clean up the language, clean up the mistakes, and then let's run back through it, hopefully with the citizens committee, like we talked about last month, and start drilling down into
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind
material.
how
Because changing the SFEs and all that, that's material.
That's
Right.
material.
Yeah,
But-
I would
Anything
agree
we
with that.
change
Well,
that's,
I mean, I could argue taking the ETJ references out of material too, but that's just becoming legally compliant. I mean,
Right.
those should have never been in there.
Okay.
So,
And here's another legally compliant one on 10.2.2.5 self-storage.
Mhm.
So the law says self-storage facilities, indoor only and outdoor storage requires a SUP by law.
Sorry, say it again?
So an indoor only or outdoor storage requires a SUP.
what is an SUP?
Special use.
Special use
Special
permit.
use.
Oh,
Permit.
okay.
Yeah.
This is 10.2.2?
10.2.2.5.
I got you. Okay.
Okay, well,
And then
Yep.
also under storage, we need to put the volume or the nature of such storage. Like if it's a storage facility that you're going to store goods in or something like that, like they have to specify like no fertilizer,
Different
nothing, no bomb making material, so those things need to be in there.
okay, we'll
Yeah.
take the document again. The edits will be tracked, so if we
Okay.
disagree, we can turn it
Yeah.
back to what it was.
Yeah.
Because it shows you what was added or deleted, and if you'll incorporate your written comments there, Tracy, into
Yeah.
it, and then
I'll
we'll
see if
pass
I-
that
I'll
And
around.
see
we
if I can
encourage
figure out how
you.
to
We,
do
we'd like to see your comments.
Yeah, we'll pass it around and let everybody see. And again, we're,
So one more material question on section 10, the business section. It's been changed to 1 acre, and I know the original council that passed this, we wanted those lot size bigger. What would be a reason? Is it illegal to mandate 2.5 acres?
So the law says the town may adopt smaller minimum lot sizes by amendment when necessary to support commercial viability.
That's smaller.
but is
Yes.
that our going in? Do we want to go in with a smaller? Do we
I would
'cause
say
we
go
started
higher.
larger.
I would say go higher.
And it
then
was
we
listed
can-
at 2.5
And that's why we need to
acres.
see everybody's comments, and then when we get into the development agreement, you see, that's when we're gonna have to drill down onto that, because when we get into development agreement, we'll have fire lanes and bulkheads behind it, and parking requirements based
Yeah.
on the use, and all of that, and so that's when size of the commercial lot is gonna kick in. And quite honestly, most anything, unless it's a snow cone stand, is probably gonna require an acre.
Yeah.
Well, and I would encourage, Dale, as we get the advisory, get a couple of citizens at least involved in it, that, let them weigh in on the edits if they
Right.
have strong feelings
That's
about
the
the
idea.
edits. Let's,
And that's what.
I mean, just because Tom made the edit doesn't make it law. It's just
Right.
Tom's recommendation,
yeah.
right?
Yes.
And so,
It's his opinion.
that's right.
Right.
It's like a-holes,
It's
everybody.
not a
jump.
fact, it's opinion.
Until we go through hearings and vote, this still is our
That's
ordinance.
all that is.
Edits don't count, so we're just
Right.
trying to craft something
Yeah.
that we believe is a better version.
Yeah. So one
Of the
thing that
ordinance.
I want to make sure that we're all aware of is this document is a living, breathing document. It continues to grow and grow as the town grows. With that, I don't know if we're talking about that today or not, maps.
Kind of.
Yeah, so an updated version of the map is required for this to be legal.
That's my question, since we've been talking about the zoning thing. The thing about trying to help the community, somebody can come in town and say, let me see your ordinance, and we've already discussed, there's documentation issues, there's footage issues, there's all kinds of issues. We're not gonna be able to stop it because it's all right here. They're gonna go by what this document is, unless, Mayor, you've got some other way of communicating with legal to say, what can we do to help fix some of the stuff that is in here, because if we don't get this fixed soon,
Well, it's,
then we're gonna be trapped again.
it is our ordinance, it is law in the town of Poetry, it's in force as of the date that it was signed. And changing it, as I've said numerous times, is non-trivial. We can't arbitrarily change anything in that ordinance without multiple public hearings, without a vote of this council,
Well, yeah,
all of that.
yeah.
So we're just gonna pray that between
Yeah,
now and
and it's
then,
just-
nothing happens that
Right.
It's a
we
difficult
regret.
process.
I mean,
We're in a
but we're gonna follow the rules, we're gonna do it the right way, and, out of respect for our citizens and the law and all that, so we're chunking away at it, we're cleaning up typos, spelling errors, we're gonna make some bigger changes with some outside input, and let's just keep trudging away, it's not gonna be a willy-nilly overnight kind of thing, I mean, I wanna be thoughtful about it, and we've had a couple of years now to digest this thing. And I think we've got smart people looking at it. And I think we're gonna come up with a good document, and I can't tell you what's gonna happen between now and then, because I don't know. But hopefully nothing that we regret, because right now, all they have to do is follow what's in this document, and as long as they do that, there's
Mike,
nothing else we can do.
I guess I'd suggest that you go ahead and add it on this topic every meeting. In other words, to keep us going.
We
Yeah.
have talked, I said that 6 months ago,
Yeah.
we have
Every
talked about
month.
zoning every single meeting. It will be
Yeah.
on every agenda
I would say
until I get voted
just
out.
continue to keep it
Yes.
so
it
we
will.
can keep moving forward.
Yeah.
It will.
Instead
And
of-
I appreciate very much, Tom, you kind of given us a little progress this month by doing your markups. Tracy's gonna take the next one, Dale, with, getting some advisory folks in here. I mean, every month I want to take a little baby step towards, what we want, 'cause
Okay.
Well, I agree, that's what we have to do, we wanna make sure that technically we're addressing it as you're stating it. Everything needs to be changed or documented, so that way, with the next step, if we have to, have our public hearings and things
So-
like that, we can discuss these things.
So that's a question that I have. So let's say that we come up with a clean ordinance. So do we amend the ordinance as it is, or do we create a new one? How
I
does
think
that
we
work?
amend it.
You amend
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But really, that's David Byrne.
after
Yeah.
a public hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, but I believe it's an amendment.
Yeah.
I mean, typically I see from cities, these things just evolve over time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even legislation out of Austin, it shows you all the
Oh, yeah.
dates that it was changed and what was changed, and they, kind of like we're tracking edits, they
Right.
change amendments, or track amendments, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not taking, any action on that,
Good work, Tom.
nobody wants to talk about, the zoning ordinance, so we're good. Again, I'm trying to let, citizens know, if you see at the end of the item there, no vote will be taken, right? I want to let people sort of be comfortable that we're not sneaking up on anybody.
Yeah.
When we get ready to take a vote, it'll be after public hearings and.
I guess in a sense,
conversation.
if somebody was to come in, I think it would be fair and open that we let them know that there are some changes coming that may, but, work with us, I
What's in
guess.
force on that date that they do something is what's going to affect them.
Well, I know, that's true.
I don't want to encourage them to rush in to do something ugly because, we haven't
Like,
boxed it in
signs.
yet.
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna start regulating apartments next year. Okay, let's build them this year. No,
Well, that's what happens sometimes, yeah.
I don't know. We're working on it, and I think that's important. So I appreciate the effort. Any more discussion on item 1? We don't have anybody speaking on it. Okay, hearing none. Let's move on to item 2. Discuss and take action on creation of a citizen zoning advisory committee. Dale's going to speak on this. So last month we discussed involving a small number of citizens in the effort. Now, I think I read this, and I believe I gave this to you possibly in the packet, but our attorney's comment was this is an informal advisory committee. No more than 2 council members should ever be present. You can call it something like a zoning ordinance review advisory committee. It would not be controlled by the Open Meetings Act. It says, as an alternate, the council could formally create a planning and zoning commission that would be subject. We're not going to do that. We're going to do the advisory committee. Now, I think we discussed last month that although it doesn't according to our attorney, have to abide by open meetings in the sense of, announcements and all that. I think we discussed last month, we do want to notify citizens to the best of our ability, so they have the ability. We're not trying to do this in a sneaky way
Right.
or anything, so.
And if they want to come and watch, they can come and
Absolutely.
watch.
Absolutely. We just don't want 100 people weighing in because we'll never get anything
If they
done.
want one.
so.
Well, all right, so what I did was, been thinking about how to do this, so I just have a little simple outline that we can follow, so we're not jumping around. And all we're gonna do is, kind of what, Mayor's just said, let's just kind of keep it quick so we can hold this down to 10 minutes, 15 minutes. All right, so, first thing let's discuss is the name. I stuck up there, Citizen Zoning Advisory Committee. Good with that name, or you want something else?
That's
Fine
what the
with me.
lawyer said to call it, so they're
Okay.
pretty close.
All right, so we got that. Our objective, and there's several of these. All right, so open to the public, which you brought up.
Yes.
Do we want to make it, I know that has been an
Yes.
issue in the past, so we can do that. But let's talk about that. Being public, I mean, as Terry knows, zoning meetings are boring. I mean, about the most, it's unbelievably boring. But one thing we might want to do is, if we're going to make them public, do we want to just turn on a camera and?
No, my thought behind that was that the committee meets and you just have a galley of
Just like-
observers.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we hold the meetings here so
Yeah.
that people know where they are.
Do we record it?
And then
What's the question? I'm not
Can't,
saying.
I don't know that we need to stream them and all. I
No.
think that's getting a bit much. I mean, we can do a local recording if we want to. I mean, that thing will just do a local recording
yeah.
without sending them to YouTube, and then we'll have it as a record just in case we get it in. He said, she said.
Yeah,
So we're
and
gonna
if citizen-
record the
it-
meeting,
Yeah, and
and then,
if
they want
citizens
it
are
to,
here
oh,
that aren't part of the committee,
okay,
I would have like a piece of paper, a suggestions piece of paper for those that are here. That
Well,
that way it's not disrupting the meeting.
yeah,
They
we
hand it
kinda
in
need to-
afterwards.
We kind of need to have the citizens that aren't a part of the committee pass their information through somebody that is a part of the committee,
Yes.
right? One of the council members or through one of the citizens that's on
okay,
the.
so we're gonna have a public meeting, but the citizens, we're not gonna allow the citizens to speak at those, because it's basically. a
It's an
work
advisory committee.
Well,
It's
I
not
don't
a
think-
session. Yeah, it's
you
a
know,
work session.
right.
I don't know that I want to get so rigid to say they can't talk. I think
Yeah.
as you guys run the group, you figure it out. If it turns into 10-hour meetings because
They got
everybody
something
wants to,
constructive, yeah.
yeah,
So
just
we're-
figure it out. I
They
don't
can always have something in the agenda of like citizen input and then limit it 3 minutes or
Yeah, If it
whatever.
gets out of hand, then you may have to say, listen, you're gonna have to write it down and pass it to one
Yeah.
of us and we'll talk about it. You
Okay,
can't.
so we're gonna record the
Or we'll
meeting.
report back.
I don't think they're
And
gonna be that
comments
interesting
are
that
allowed.
people are gonna wanna come and spend a lot of time. I mean, I think
Yes.
people will wanna come, weigh in with their concerns
And leave.
and then leave. And-
Okay, so and understand what I want to do is take this, our comments tonight, clean it up and come back next month and do, what do we have to do? Do we need is it an ordinance or
No.
what to create a committee?
You don't need anything.
You don't need any.
We just vote, we'll have a vote at the end of this conversation if that's appropriate to create this committee and
Well,
nominate some people that you think, if we have anybody that's
that'll be
offered to be on it.
next
and-
month, okay.
Could we not have a councilman liaison? Because whatever's going on in, huh?
We're about to talk.
Okay.
about that, yeah.
I'll shut up.
No, it's just, it's on the agenda. Okay, so post-meeting schedule, we talked about that. So to what extent? Just the.
Well, let's let
Website?
Secretary Laura can help us put that on the calendar
Mhm.
so that people can just go look at the calendar and they'll just see advisory meeting. I mean, they'll know when those meetings are taking place.
And that's all keep it pretty
Yeah, That
simple.
way they can look out and see. I mean, you can just kind of plan those meetings monthly, bi-weekly, whatever you want to do. But yeah, let's make every effort to notify the citizens when and where we're going to be discussing this.
Okay, authority, obviously authority of the committee. They have no authority other than to make recommendations to the committee.
They have the
To
same
the
power the
council.
council has. You council members that are a part of this only have the authority to make recommendations. I mean, you
To the town council.
Right.
Okay, so y'all all agree with that. Maintaining strong adherence to state government code. One of the bigger, deeper problems with our zoning ordinance is we haven't met code on a lot of issues.
Okay.
So, and this was one I'd like for us to discuss. So we're gonna have a citizen committee. We can't stop and every time make sure everything we come up with is to code. Would it be better to make the change to the ordinance, then go run it through TML and then bring it back to the town? Or do we, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think.
'Cause I don't want to get something approved and then we find out we have 5,
Well,
10.
I think when we near the final draft
yes.
that
Wait
we're
till-
gonna put to the public for the public hearings,
Right.
that goes to Berman for his.
And or somebody.
Yes, yeah, and or
Well,
anybody.
Yeah, I don't think David will probably hear this, and that's okay.
Okay.
But we want to do a better job, I think, this time of making sure that it's
Yeah.
'cause somehow the first version, things like ETJ and stuff slipped through, and they shouldn't have. So we may want a couple of opinions.
Yeah.
As to, and
So
I don't know
I'll
if
amend-
TML can do that or somebody, but we definitely want to, on any substantive things like, we're just gonna set a 1 acre minimum, is that legal or not? I mean, that's easily researched question.
Right.
So what we should come out of this with in the end, before we go to public hearings, is something that we think is ready to go to press. I mean, we think we got it. And, maybe the public
Yeah.
hearing uncovers something, hopefully it's
Yeah,
minor.
we'll tweak setbacks. or
Right,
something.
but mostly it should be what we think
Yeah.
is a good
Form.
document.
Right. So I'm going to give you an example. So on the agrarian driveway, we have 500 feet. So that poses a risk to us because standard is 300. So that's what I think of when I think of,
Spacing between driveways?
yes,
Most towns use about 400
yeah. So
between curb cuts.
that's what I look at the committee
cuts versus
committee
driveways,
doing is like, okay, does this open us up to a potential conflict? Does that make sense?
To a what, Tom?
Potential conflict.
Yeah.
Where
Conflict with
our
what?
where our ordinance could come into question because standard is 400 feet and we have 500 feet.
And it was purposely designed that way to keep development out. I mean, we have to weigh stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I mean, we can put anything in there we want, but and anything in there can be challenged.
Yeah.
So I think we try to
Uh,
go with what's sort of industry standard,
so
or
like
what's work, because they've done the homework. We're too small to go figure this stuff
Right.
out on our own.
so what it said was the 300 feet from any existing agrarian improves enforceability. 500 you couldn't enforce that because it's not a standard.
Well, y'all are gonna figure
Yeah.
that out. for
Yeah,
us.
and we
We don't all need to know that.
Yeah.
You need to tell us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, meeting frequency. We met for 2 hours once a month, didn't we?
Seemed like every week.
2 weeks, yeah. Wasn't it? Was it 2 weeks? Okay. So, do we want to let the committee kind of figure that out? Or,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You guys figure out
okay,
what works.
committee.
You can either do, one marathon meeting a month or a couple little ones or
Okay, and then the
daily. I don't care.
final question is the size of the committee.
I think the more people you get involved, it becomes a difficult task.
It is, that's right. I think,
we'll have people lined up for this.
I'm not thinking so.
Maybe not.
I think we try to attract people with some
Five.
experience and 2 council members and 3 citizens. Because that's what we ran into before. We had 7 or 8 people, and you can get bogged down.
Well, that's fine. 2 and 3, and if we have somebody that comes in that's number 4 that's just super passionate,
Yeah, and they've
Yeah.
got some.
figure it out. It's not.
Yeah,
I don't
come
think
on.
the 3 needs to be a hard line, but it's not.
Well, we need
100.
an odd number
It's
so
not
we
1
can
or
make
it's not
decisions.
100.
Well,
It needs to
and-
be.
Being open, you might get more interest and people give you suggestions.
That's the
You
hope.
sign up, you gotta come to the
Okay,
meeting.
so 5, 2 and 3. Y'all all good with
Yeah,
that?
I think that's a good
Okay.
starting.
How are we gonna pick these people?
How we're gonna just
They
Volunteer right now.
names,
Yeah,
twist
'cause
their
if they
arm?
don't wanna be on it, we don't want them on it, 'cause
Right.
they won't be
Yeah, we
interested.
we've
You
got
want
a
people
short-
with some knowledge?
Yeah, we have a short list, I think, of people in the community.
But are we gonna select, or are we gonna put some on the website that says, hey, if you're interested
Yeah,
in being a
and we'll
part?
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I thought I'd do is clean this up,
Yeah.
bring it back next week. We'll agree to
Next
what
month.
we're gonna do, post it, ask for people and,
Well, let's go ahead and we can get Secretary Laura to put something out there right now to kind of start creating interest. So if somebody is interested in,
You're working.
passionate about zoning and wants, I mean, everybody has input through someone on the committee or on the council, but if they want to be like right up front and sitting at the table, then, you know, we need to know that, and there's a pretty good chance they'll get selected, because again, I'm with
Okay.
Terry, I don't think we're gonna have a long line around the building, but
okay, and council members, who wants to be on the committee?
well, you. He needs a, well, Tom, do you wanna, I mean, you're kind of started on it, do you want?
Well, yeah, I don't mind. I mean, Dale has more experience and
No, it's okay, but
Yeah,
I think you're a good balance,
Yeah.
so,
that's fine.
are you willing?
You'll do it?
I'm willing.
Okay.
As long as they don't go after 9,
After what?
9 o'clock.
Start them earlier.
Start them
Yeah.
early. Yeah. Start early.
Okay, so do I have on, 2, let's, hear from Haley, you wanna wander in and, share your thoughts on the Citizen Zoning Advisory Committee?
I'll bring my crew in.
Yeah, bring it in.
She's the first candidate.
Yeah,
There
there
you
you
go,
go.
baby
Haley
stuff.
Dennis from Poetry, Texas. I think most of y'all already know me here. But yeah, I wouldn't mind being your first volunteer.
All right.
No, I mean, I did make a lot of notes at the zoning hearing, and I expressed those to the council and mayor at that time, most of which were ignored, but that's okay. And so I gave a lot of logistical feedback, not just emotional feedback during that time frame. So I wouldn't mind helping out and being advising on the committee as best I can.
Excellent.
Just get all your
Yay.
information.
All right.
So that makes you chairman. First person.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Quick,
awesome.
commit her before she runs.
Yeah.
No,
Very good.
we appreciate that.
Thank you very much,
No
Haley.
problem.
We
That's the
appreciate
biggest thing. Thank you, Haley.
And I've worked with you guys before, so you know it's a friendly
it. Well, and
thing.
I'm a
Yeah.
big believer, and you want somebody there that wants to be there, because
That's the
Right.
big thing.
Exactly.
Thank you.
it's a difficult job. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
stepping
Thank
up.
y'all.
Appreciate you. Okay, do I have a motion from council to create the Citizen Zoning Advisory Committee with the parameters that we discussed? So we have the name, it's gonna be open to the public, we're gonna record the sessions locally in the room, we're not gonna stream them. They don't have any authority to do anything other than propose, because this has to go through hearings and a vote. We'll of course scrub anything we work towards the final document through, you know, and against code, government code and otherwise. The committee, under the direction of Tom and Dale, will determine how often they want to meet. They will meet at town hall,
Yes.
so that will be accessible to anyone that wants to show up. And we're going to start with a committee size of 2 council members. I can attend wherever I want because I don't hurt the quorum. And 3 citizens, but that could change. It could be 2 or it could be 4. I mean, if we get 3 more Haleys that are just passionate about it, you know,
Yeah.
I don't think we turn them away. So do I have a motion for
So
all of
moved.
that?
Sure.
Okay, so I have, Doug makes the motion, second.
I'll second it.
Okay,
I
Tom
couldn't
makes the
remember
second.
all that if I had to. And I guess
Laura has it, it's in the recording.
the one thing I would say didn't add is somehow there needs to be, someone will have to be assigned to take notes.
Well, I think that's within the committee, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Like I stated, the chairman, but somebody in that committee.
Absolutely.
Secretary.
Secretary, but we don't want to just have it verbal.
No.
We want to have something.
Well, we're gonna have
in
a
writing.
recording, so
Yeah.
if we have to go back, we will have.
Yeah,
a recording.
that's-
And we had a member before that took typing in high school, and they've recorded everything for us.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay, we
Typed
have
every- They keep the copy clean.
Yeah, and you can do it. Bring a computer, and
Okay.
you
But
can. There's software
somebody-
that will translate it the whole 9 yards.
Okay, we have a
got
motion by
motorcycle,
Doug, we have a
both things.
second by Tom, all in favor? Okay, unanimous, thank you, council. Okay, moving on to item 3, discuss and take action on possible creation of a second town bank account to hold all sales tax revenue funds. I'm the one that put this on here. So let me kind of update to the italics underneath there. So one of our auditors, not the audit firm, but one of our auditors made this recommendation that, hey, it would be easier to track and audit your sales tax revenue if it was in a completely different bank account on a different statement. But I will tell you, even if that's the case, it still goes into QuickBooks exactly the way it does right now. So the only difference would be you would have 2 bank reconciliations every month. There would be 2 bank statements. We would have to manage 2 bank accounts, 2 sets of signatories, and all of that. So when I wrote this up, I was a fan of this, but when I talked to our accounting secretary and some others, I became not a fan of this because I think it makes something that's working well unnecessarily complicated, but I don't get to vote, you guys do. So I open the discussion on what do you think about creating a second bank account? And basically the account would be, we would have to have an opening balance, who's going to be the signatories, it has to be in the minutes, so they would be willing to do it. And it would hold only our sales tax.
Okay. How many deposits do you get a month in that?
Monthly.
How
Well,
many?
sales tax we get monthly.
So 3? 3 deposits?
Well, no, we
No,
get the
we
other
get
stuff quarterly.
quarterly,
Everything
yeah.
else is, well, but sales tax, which is all this account
Yeah.
would take, would be monthly.
Monthly. Yeah.
So I mean, you're getting one statement. We have an account that's getting 1 deposit a month. Is my point.
Plus, yes,
Yeah,
plus
that's
what
correct.
we're putting out into escrow.
Right, what we
The money
take
to go
out.
to escrow would come from that account.
Yeah, there'd be one
That's
deposit
what the
and
auditors are wanting.
1 or 2.
Yeah,
checks
once it goes
coming
to a
out.
deposit, but when you get revenues coming in, you're supposed to 1 or 2 a month. Is that necessary?
1 a month. We get 1 a month from the state of Texas. We
So
get-
is it really necessary to have a separate account
Well, I'll
for
say
one
that.
deposit?
Yeah, Dale, I answer that this way. It's, first, what we have now is working just fine, and I have no worries about it. You know, we have a good accountant, you know, Mike and I, we watch what we're doing, and we get a good report, which I like, because it's Teresa, I know it's right. Here, the only concern I have is down the road, that makes it so someone could shift money between accounts, the road to the regular and back and forth, for whatever reason.
If we had that second account, is what you're saying.
I'm sorry?
If we had the second account, is that
No,
what
If
you're
we,
saying
if we
without
don't
it-
have a second account,
Without it.
right now, it's
Commingled.
just a matter of moving it in the books.
Uh-huh.
If you have a second account, it makes it much harder. It still can be done. Now, and there's no urgency in my mind because of the current council. I have no qualms about it. It's looking ahead 5 or 10 years is will we have a council, frankly, as honest as we have now? And that's the reason, Dale, that I would say that it's only for security, is in case you had somebody willing to play games with the,
So you would be
account.
able to see on the statement money coming in and money going out. Now, of course, with QuickBooks, we have monthly reconciliations, so you could catch it quickly, right? If something did move.
as long as the accountant is doing it correctly.
right?
That's right. I mean, you can look at, you know, I mean, I don't know how many different examples of companies that have had this happen where
Right.
people have played games in cities, played games with the books when it's too easy to shift between accounts. So while I'm not concerned at all here now, because we got a really good accountant and honest, that is the one thing that down the road I could see maybe an issue because it's been there before.
Well, it does, to your point, it adds a second layer of
Yeah, it doesn't prevent
accountability,
it.
right? Because one of us has to approve the expenditure, right, separately from the main account, and then we also see it, so
So
guess
why
I-
couldn't we internally, suggestion, because typically cities have a general fund and a utility fund. And basically, there's a lot of things that go into general fund, but doesn't necessarily the money goes into general fund, or some departments are worked out of a general fund. But if you're doing utilities like water and streets and all this other stuff, that's in a utility fund. So internally, we could have a general fund account internally, and then we have the utility fund where we could do the road money in that utility fund. Because if you want to look down to the road, there's a possibility that there may be, hopefully, someday that we would be getting some money in that we will be putting into the general fund, but yet we still want to keep it separate from the utility fund.
And I even had another point too. You know, we didn't have this breakout that we have now the first few months of the council, maybe the first year. It took a while, and I know this because I was advocating it, is to have it
Yeah.
printed,
I remember.
separate, presented to the council. And because we didn't have this at first, and then finally we did, and I feel more comfortable, plus able to really look at it, where before it wasn't clearly differentiated between the counts, even though it was there. It wasn't as clear as it is now, and it wasn't presented to the council the way it is now.
Right.
So I like this, and I think and I have no qualms about the council. The only issue I raise is in the future, is this,
In the
you know,
future,
And
I agree.
that's a very valid point, but also keep in mind that we pay $6,000 for an audit thereabouts, and we have the ability to double that with a second account.
well, the audit reports what you give them. And the reason companies have gotten away with it for years with audits, I mean, you know, there's plenty of them, Enron is one, is that because the auditors read what the companies gave them, in this case, the town. So they aren't digging in. These auditors are looking at the financials for reasonableness. They don't dig in and see necessarily what's happening. That's a forensic audit.
But
That's a
I
different
think
audit.
her point is, if we have an additional account, they're gonna have to
They're
look
audit
at
both
the
accounts.
documents of that additional account, so there'll be an incremental increase in the cost of the audit, potentially.
That's right.
Because
That's
it's
it.
one more set of numbers they gotta look at. I mean, right now, those numbers are all in a single account, now they're gonna have to look at two statements.
Only if it's by town, paid by hour type, they're spending more time,
Yeah,
if you
I don't
will.
know if it is.
Yeah,
reasonable.
so, and I agree with down the road, definitely. But I guess I'm kind of agreeing with you. It's just, is now the time?
Yeah.
Well, and
And it's gonna be a regular checking account. It can't be any kind of, because you're gonna write checks off
It's
of
gonna
it.
be a debit card?
So, yeah. You know, so right now, I totally agree. In the future, yes, I think that's something that needs to be taken care of. I just don't think.
Well,
that's what
and
we're
this
doing
is
now.
on here only because it was brought up by the auditor, so I wanted to at least service the idea through the council. There is no sense of urgency on my part or Teresa's part. Teresa doesn't think it's necessary. I mean, she'll do whatever we tell her
For
to
the
do,
same
but-
reasons we've been talking about?
Right, she
Yeah.
doesn't,
Okay.
well, she just thinks it's, you know, we're tracking and
She
you've got all
reconciles.
kinds
Look
of
too
yeah.
redundant.
all kinds of stuff, and I mean, she works by the hour, so it makes her job harder, she just gets paid more, but she doesn't feel like it's necessary, but I wanted to bring it to council to let you know, hey, the question's been called, you know, you decide, but there is no sense of urgency on
I
this.
think
Nobody
it's-
said we gotta do it, or it's gotta
Yeah.
be done by this week.
Because when we set up the budget for this year, we even incorporated the money for capital items, and then of course
Versus,
versus regular operating funds.
right,
So we separated that as well. So if we deem in the budget to separate more as far as a utility fund but the straight budget, I lost my thought. Operating costs would go through the operating, and Teresa could just keep up with all of that as well, so.
yeah, I don't know, I think if we're paying attention, the reports that we get every month and give to the citizens, you could find
Somebody's
something.
gonna catch something.
Just,
Yeah.
you know, That's just my opinion, but it's up to the council.
And
Well-
that might be something we revisit at the end
Well,
of the year.
I'll put it another way, is I don't think there's
Budget
enough
time.
money in our bank account for someone to
Right.
go trying to steal. Now, if we had millions of dollars in
And we
our
get
bank,
another nickel, we'll have two to rub together.
Right.
but if we had several $1 million in our account, then it makes it more enticing for somebody to play a game.
Yeah.
Well, Mayor, a suggestion would be just, maybe this is something we want to look at during the budget, new budget.
I don't, I'm good either way. Do we
So I
have,
make a motion.
anybody in the
Oh,
audience want to weigh in? I know you didn't sign up for this, but anybody heard something that, makes them want to talk? Okay, hearing none, any motions?
I have a motion that we keep doing what we're doing for now.
Okay, well, that's not. a
I'll
motion.
second
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we don't need to do that.
We don't need
Yeah.
a motion to do
No
nothing.
change.
Don't need it.
No
Nothing.
change.
Nothing on that one. Moving on, number 4. And we do have a couple of people that want to talk about that, so remind me. Discuss and take action on TxDOT bridge inspection update. And to Ms. Shelley, who's in the audience, I don't think I got back to you, but I did check with TxDOT. You'll notice, council, and I sent a note out to remind you, at the bottom of this, it says this is confidential under the laws of Homeland Security, cannot be shared. So Ms. Shelley asked me if she could have a copy, and I told her I would check into it. So I sent an email to TxDOT, and I said, is this really a TxDOT confidential Homeland Security? That just seems a bit much for me, but you
Yeah.
know, and the guy got back to me very quickly and said, absolutely.
So
This
what's
is
the
confidential.
security
He
co-
said, I guess I'm okay with you sharing it with your council because they make decisions about, I'm like, well, duh, yeah, I'm not gonna hide it from them, and I've already sent it to them. But they said, no, we can't. So Shelley, if you want me to describe it to you, I will describe it to you, but listen to the conversation and I think you'll get what's going on. It's not all that complicated. So as I said in here, and I'm learning the town, maybe like some of you, we have at least 2 bridges, not culverts, but actual bridges that have a span and concrete and all that, in the town. And one is on 2326 down by where I am. And the other one is down from Tom. That's the one we drug trees off of last winter. And that's they're referred to by the road and the branch of the creek that they
And that one
support.
was repaired maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Right. It hasn't been inspected yet, so I can't speak to it. The one on 2326 was inspected recently. You have the inspection report, super top secret. And the gist of the report is that over time, some of the dirt has washed out underneath the concrete. It's not collapsing, it's not dangerous, it's not at risk, but if you just keep letting more and more dirt wash out, at some point, the bridge is going to move. And so this report actually, by mistake, first went to the county because TxDOT forgot that that's in the town now. So David Monroe, our commissioner in Hunt County, had it rerouted to us, but he had already thought about it, and Commissioner Monroe has already committed to helping us correct the deficiencies, which basically amount to putting dirt down in the creek and pushing it back up under the concrete so that right now it's not a lot of undermining, but if we leave it alone, it will be. So basically, as Terry and the county are working to clean out ditches, which is going to create dirt, we're going to take that dirt and put it on the side of the road by that creek. And once we get enough dirt, they're going to create a little path down the side of that road into the creek. And they'll take equipment down there, skid steers, most likely, and they'll shore that up, clean out the creek, and put it all back together. So
Are they gonna do anything for erosion control?
they're not currently, but we'll talk about that. I mean, undoubtedly, I'll get a project sheet and a proposal from them and we'll talk about, and I'll double check with TxDOT, of course, before we do any work to make sure, okay, if we do this and you were to re-inspect, would we get a happy star? Or are we still gonna get a, sad face? So we'll make sure that whatever we do, because I don't know the right answer. I mean, the footings are sort of exposed, but there are piers that go down, deep into the earth that are holding that up. They just don't want that process to continue to create a problem. So
But it occurs when that Dry Creek floods.
that's correct.
And well, I went there and tried to look. You have to do some real climbing to get down and see that.
Yes,
It's
you
not
do.
easy to see.
Nope.
And the pictures, I guess, do it justice.
Yeah, the pictures are actually good.
Yeah.
I mean, they show you exactly what's going on. And again, it's just fast moving water
Mm-hmm.
and nothing but sand and gravel to stop it. Those, I mean, as we know, for those of us who live around here and live on these creeks, I mean, they become violent
Yeah.
during a heavy rain. They go from dry to full.
Well,
Really
that's on your
quick.
road.
Oh, yeah.
That one blew
And
out.
trees and car tires and stuff comes flying by and,
Well, I guess that was the other one. I couldn't tell and hear the recommendation.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the next step. There
Right.
isn't a recommendation.
So we'll let Commissioner Monroe give us a proposal that we'll then, I'll have TxDOT look at it and make sure that they're okay with it.
Oh, yeah.
But there's no threat of force or out of compliance or anything. This is simply, hey, you own a bridge. We're, given authority by the state to inspect all bridges in the state. We did the inspection. Here's what we found. Need to work on it.
Yeah, I wonder what their inspection was of 1565 bridges.
I don't know. Those
Because
aren't-
that's
Now, I'm
TxDOT.
gonna-
Because I've seen them
well-
down there looking at them.
Yeah, I'm not going to speculate on why it's confidential, but it's a safety issue, and maybe they just don't want it being misinterpreted somehow. That it'd probably scare us to know the condition of bridges around the state.
yeah.
I don't know that I would want to know.
Right.
I just drive fast over them. And
Hope for the best.
Yeah.
okay, any questions from council? No action on this one, so this will be for the future. I just wanted you to be aware of it. You know what I know. That's it. We have another bridge. Apparently hadn't been inspected recently because I don't have any reports. But
Once we kind of go down the totem pole, I think COG could, also, we had a bridge in Sunnyvale that TxDOT and COG were involved with and helped us.
okay, we have Shelley, and there's a blank line. Was that Patrick? Did you both
No,
want to speak?
I wrote on the wrong line.
Okay.
No, I'm just curious though, if and when the bridges need to be replaced, do we have any idea how much those would cost?
Short answer, no, but I'm going to wager to say it's way more than we got in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, just curious, thanks.
Yeah, they're going to be expensive. And that brings up a question in my mind, at least, is there any money from the state? I mean, if they're inspecting them, it sort of shows some interest in them. Does that mean they help fix them?
There
I don't
probably
know.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
They're looking for
COG,
escape routes.
that's the reason why I said COG was
Usually.
Yeah.
COG has a transportations division within their organization. And so with that said,
Yeah, we could ask them.
we could reach out to them and see because they get the state funding. I mean, any funding goes to the state is go through COG.
Well, and I'll do that. I'll ask TxDOT now. It's like, hey, so you guys ponying up any money to work on this? Because the county's going to charge us something. I mean, it's not going to be a ton of money probably, but if there's funds out there, let's use their money.
Mhm.
Because to the point of, can they put those? I've heard them called gators, where they take rocks and put them in
Mhm.
chain link
Cages.
fence,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And they build those little things for erosion control.
I don't know what they did on that bridge on my road. I don't know if they did that or not because that one was gone.
Because if it's dirt and rock, it's going to keep washing out.
Yeah.
We'll fix it, but a few years from now, it's going to wash away again. So,
Well, the other one too is if there was something like a Bishop Field development going in where a lot of trucks would be on that road, then the question would be, what is it load? It's load
Load
limit
bearing.
because there isn't a
Bearing.
load
and it
limit.
is the one that we're talking about tonight is load rated. It has a sign on either side of it
Oh, okay.
that talks about the weight of the vehicle. And in fact, of course, it's not a bridge, but back around by Rick Kennedy's, that gigantic culvert, I think it has like an emergency vehicle maximum weight or something. But there, and now the one from you, I don't know if I remember seeing a
I don't
rated
think so.
sign on it.
And that is a concern to me.
Pretty
because of-
beefy bridge.
That whole
Because-
bridge needs to be raised though. That whole area needs to be come up.
Yeah, that water gets pretty close to the top.
Until Bishop gets there.
Right.
If Bishop Field comes in, it's going to be really pertinent.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not voting on anything tonight. When I get more in terms of what it's going to cost to fix it up and who's going to chip in money and all that, I'll bring it back to council and we'll vote on it. Moving on to item 5, discuss and take action on Kaufman County 911 map update. Terry and Doug have kind of looked at this. So we got a request from Kaufman County, and this is in the packet recently, where they basically just posed the question, hey, here's a picture of a map that the prior mayor signed off on as the official Kaufman County map for poetry. Are there any changes to this? We just want to make sure we have the most recent map. And you have a copy of that map signed by former mayor. And when I glanced at it, one of the things I noticed was down at the southern part of our town boundary on our map, there's a little semicircle at the end of one of the county roads that isn't on our map, their map, and it's kind of a minor thing. But it was different. But this, so I told them, I said, listen, it looks pretty close except for this little thing. Well, then the next email that came from them was, okay, great. Can you send me like the GIS files or format, or can you send me like an official version of the map so we can load it in? To which I just did a really long pause. I still haven't answered him because I don't have a good answer. And so, I kind of ask Terry and others to start thinking about this. I think this is part of a bigger conversation to do with our map. But, and Terry, do you want to speak to, you made a comment to me earlier today in a conversation between the two of us about, any concerns over 911, because they call this 911.
Yeah.
But I think that's a little bit misleading.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing to first lower the alert flags is it's not 911. This is GIS. There's nothing changing with the responses to our citizens or anybody in the community. That's a 911/GIS office that sends that stuff out. So they're wanting to update their GIS files. and I told Mike today in our conversation, I don't know where this came from. I've been on council since we've incorporated.
That looks like staff did it.
We've never had a disannexation, annexation, whatever you want to call it,
Exactly.
map. So,
But somehow there
Somehow
are
they're
disannexed
documented
people
on
in
here.
here, and I don't know.
Well,
whether-
that's all, isn't that all, ETJ?
Well, these
Yeah.
are ETJ removals.
Removal, right.
They're,
And I
and
think
now I don't know if it's all.
y'all are
Kaufman
not, I
ones,
don't
but
think
there's-
yours is on this map. And we probably need to update it.
all that being said, that's going to generate more conversations that we could even have tonight because it's part of this. But as far as what they're requesting from us, is they're requesting the GIS data. We have GIS data. Is it what we want to send to the county?
Well, if you plug it in, does it create this map?
No.
Because what about the rounded ends and things? I mean, isn't the GIS stuff all just endpoints and straight lines and?
They are. You have to have the complete document that says that the radius and semicircles
Okay.
and
Do
all
we have
that. I will get with them, but before we do, I guess we need to follow up with Kaufman County and see how dire that is, because I don't want to charge our engineers with giving us some GIS data that we're going to go back and change again, because we've had the discussions of what the expense should be to show the disannexation or ETJ removals, make a few corrections, but all that hinges around our center of the road survey
Yeah.
Well,
that we've all got the price on.
and quite honestly, our ETJ removal, we're out of compliance because we never updated that.
Yeah, that's it immediately.
Yeah, it said immediate, and we have a cost, we have a price to do that.
35,000 for the
35,000,
ETJ removals
Yep.
alone.
35,000 to remove to update our map,
Update that map right there with the ETJ removals.
removing.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's speculation as to how these happen. Is that just Dorothy making some edits on the map?
No.
We have to assume that because this council is, us three sat here,
I
have
didn't see
never
it.
approved this or seen this map.
No, not that I recall.
When I pulled it up, I was surprised because I was like,
Well,
yeah.
this was
Where
done,
was
this was
that?
done
Where did you find
4/15 of
Kaufman
25,
sent it to
right
me.
before
That's what
the
they
new
had.
council.
I
was
imagine
seen.
it's their,
Right.
their
We would've-
staff
And then,
guys.
and then
I've talked to
Dorothy's
them.
now
They're pretty
deceased.
sharp.
Mhm.
So I guess it's not something we can follow up
Probably
on.
got it from the taxes.
It
Well,
doesn't look inaccurate, but I can't say that
Yeah.
without having the GIS data.
Well,
And
my
really,
understanding
it's just-
is we sent Kaufman County all the ETJ removal packets. And so it's quite possible, to your point, that
Yeah.
They
CAD
could have,
or somebody may have gone in there and done
Yeah.
that.
they could
Yeah,
have,
the assessor.
they could have sent this to her and she signed it. But that's not what they're asking us to do. They're asking us to send them GIS
Well,
files.
just as a question, is that
Shape
something
files.
that the our engineering firm has, that GIS information?
Yes, they have shape files that they can
So
share.
they can answer the question, and it's a matter of, do we want to pay them to do it?
I think that data is ours to share. I don't think there's expense there.
Oh, really?
But yeah, to Dale's point, along with any de-annexations or ETJ removals, we haven't paid them to do the ETJ
That was my
removals.
question. Yeah,
Yeah, that's $35,000
for that section.
Just
for the whole map.
For the map
map,
of the
just to
town.
do the ETJ removal.
But it's not the centerline survey.
Oh,
that
no,
we're
that's
talking about.
another
That's
50.
a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
So, then I guess,
And we haven't done left and right, that's another.
so I think you're right about checking, do they really need it? Because do we need to go out and spend 35,000 when we don't have that much money in our bank account?
But
well,
then
would that
back
come
to
from the
question-
road fund or general fund?
Well,
That's a
general-
Berman question. I would think that would come from the road fund
I would
because
think
it has
so.
to do with our right of way.
Yeah.
I would assume that that's just strictly making an assumption. But back to the original question, and I beat this drum a long time ago. The law says that we will immediately remove the ETJs,
Yeah, and we haven't.
and we haven't.
Yeah.
So
Well,
before we send them a
partly-
shape file,
No.
can we
Well,
fix the map?
and I think we all realize we got to do it. It's just, when do we have the money to do it?
Now,
Well-
if we go back, and y'all might have to refresh my memory, we had this conversation, and it might have been a couple of months ago, but it had to do with the ILAs or something, that the counties, Kaufman was the exception, but like Hunt County would fix your map with ETJ releases.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's in a document somewhere. Kaufman County was the only one that it didn't specify, so it had to be the ILA.
I don't remember that, Tracy.
Well, I think to me, the first thing is to satisfy this request, whatever
Okay.
that means. And to Terry's point, I think these are also the same people I get emails from occasionally where they're issuing addresses. Somebody's
They do.
moving to Poetry, the land doesn't have an address, and they'll ask me, is it okay to give them an address? And I tell
Same
them yes,
office.
because they do the addressing. I don't, we don't.
That's part of the 911
Right,
system.
and it's all part of, but again, it has nothing to do with whether an ambulance shows up if you call. They will show up.
So they're wanting this just to solidify
their files.
They
addresses?
just want to know
Just
what
that,
the,
update their files.
yeah, they just want to know what the map looks like. They're under obligation.
So I can get with
Tell 'em
engineers
we
and
don't
have
know.
them send the shape files. That's not a problem.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
fine.
I have, if digital, I think I have.
Okay.
Because I had
So
to
that'd
give
be-
it
But the
back.
problem was it said along with the ETJ removal documentation.
Well, it looks like they
That's-
did that on their side already.
I don't know that they did, and I don't know that it's
Well,
accurate.
we don't know where those came
Don't.
from. But to somebody's point they just made, it does kind of look like they sent it to her and just put a signature block and said, would you sign it and date it?
And send it back
So
to us.
maybe we
yeah.
didn't create this. Maybe they put it together out of their own bits and pieces
Well,
of
what's
what
the
they
date?
did.
Probably
What's
wouldn't
the
hurt
date on
to,
416.
416,
figure that out,
Right
huh?
before you got seated.
Yeah, right before we took
right
office.
before we took office, yeah.
That map could have been done before the city was even named a city, couldn't it?
No.
No, it is,
No,
it is city stuff, okay.
Yeah, it's correct, so. Okay, so, Terry, would you take, we're not gonna vote on anything here, but would you take the action to call them and just see if what they need is what we can produce? And let's kind of limit the interaction with them right now to just giving them what they've asked for. Cause the bigger question of, getting caught up on ETJ removals and what do we do with our map and all that, I think is not, we don't have to solve that problem to answer their request.
Which may be just a bureaucratic request.
They just said, do you have a, a GIS or something, a couple different formats they'll accept. They just want something other than a hand-drawn sketch. They want something they can load into their system that will make it create the little semicircle. And then, I can get with Secretary Teresa and Laura to start pulling all of the ETJ removal packets so that we can start figuring out, how big those stacks are, and because we do need to do that. We need to get going on it.
Our engineers haven't even seen that.
Well, the other reason we need to do it is because we charge people. And we charge them based on, we're gonna have an expenditure now. We probably grossly undercharge them for what we're gonna have to pay, but that's not their fault. They paid what we asked them to pay, and that was to cover, back office plus mapping and so forth. So, and
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but I don't think
responsible.
I don't think the mapping came into it until
Just
way later.
When Dell and I first got that number, I mean, $35,000 to remove the ETJs
Yeah.
that we have. What was we charging for a permit?
Oh,
250?
No, 125.
125.
well, and we're gonna,
Whoops.
Well, most towns have an engineering firm that does this for them.
not for tonight, but.
Most
but-
towns have a survey too.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to preview next
Yeah.
month, we're going to talk about the map.
The map?
We will discuss all things
Oh,
Okay.
next month.
Yeah, that would be.
So that'll be fun. Okay,
Just bring the
nobody in
map.
the audience wanted to talk about number 5. So we're on to 6, discuss and take action on renewal of our Federal System for Award Management, otherwise known as SAM subscription, which expires
February 3rd.
a couple of weeks from now. And Doug, are you gonna
Yeah,
go
briefly.
through this one, please?
Thank you, Mayor. We were notified by a firm that says that we are needing to renew our information for our grant that was submitted by previous administration. And they wanted $600 to do that. So I reached out to the gentleman that I've been talking to about the whole grant situation. He says, you can do that. All they're trying to ask for is $600 to do about 30 minutes of work. So I've reached out to the state, to Tyler, the office of the gentleman that's kind of helping us with the state grant up to this point. His office sent me a document so that way we can get updated, number one. And number two is the names are on this for contact is we need to update that as well because Ann is one of the names on this application. So
And interestingly, Tom, you're on there. Have you ever accessed this SAM thing?
Never heard of it.
Well, you're one of the, you're an administrator on it, so
Yeah.
know that you have power.
good luck here. So for right now, what we're going to do is the mayor's going to send this in. He's going to look at it, review it, put the names on where he wants contacted or access, if you will.
Yeah, right now, the two admins on it are the prior secretary and Tom.
Yeah.
So clearly, we got to fix that.
Tag, you're it.
Well, and one of the things I want to do on this here again is I want to try to make the contacts more generic, like mayor.
Yeah.
That way, whoever the mayor is has authority.
Uh-huh.
Secretary, whoever the secretary is has authority, so that we don't get they left or they quit or they because this is, I tell you, just in 6 months this has been very painful to get family and relatives and past people and resigned people. I mean, this is a mess.
Mhm.
It's like everybody that leaves takes like a little
Peace with them.
piece, and then we got to go retrieve it, and that's what's painful. So I want to get away from that, and just, send it to accounting at poetry dot, or send it to mayor at, or send it to secretary at. And that way we retain control throughout transition, so.
So I've got some more information as far as the grant qualifications and things like that, but for right now, and as by the agenda item, we are going, because if we don't upgrade our deal by February the 3rd, we're out of that grant process. He says that we're still in the process, whatever that means. Our names are still there, but we've got to get this done so we can actually get in there and look for ourselves to see where we're at and all that. Then we follow up on further action, because there will be more discussions that we'll have in future meetings as far as addressing the grant. So, but right now it doesn't cost us anything as long as we fill out the paperwork and get us back up to updated speed. And by February the 3rd,
And
is this
send
a
a
road
check
grant?
for-
I'm sorry.
This is the roads and sidewalks and
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, have
They
a
wanted-
conversation.
A separate company
kids.
notified us
Kids that walk.
to say you're going to be up for renewal. You're fixing to lose your membership, as they called it. And we was going like, oh my gosh, But then when I called the guys that have handled state contracts, he said they always do that. They come out of the woodwork trying to get money out of folks to do what we could do right now by sending this in. So
Well, and when I called, a couple of us called these people separately, but when I called them, they say, well, you can't get a federal grant without being registered with our entity. And I said, well, we're applying for a state grant through the Department of Agriculture, to which they corrected me and said, Department of Agriculture is
It's
federal.
federal, yeah.
So you are trying for a federal grant. It's ultimately it's federal money funneling down
Yeah,
through
it's
the
the same
state.
thing with the
Yeah.
signs. It's
But
federal money.
Am I hearing you correct, Doug? Because we didn't talk a lot about this, you and I, beforehand. So this company that wants $600 a year is not SAM. It is a front end group that collects the money and then just looks for opportunities and mails them to you.
Yes.
That's public information, and they're pulling it off the database.
Right. So it's not a requirement of the federal government that we pay $600.
no, in fact, you're on the right track, and I got sidetracked probably. As far as the item goes, as far as submitting that item for $600, we can scratch it.
So we're not renewing with whoever these scammers are, but we are going to go in and correct our
Correct.
SAM information
And
because
it-
it's out of date.
And then with that, when we correct the names, then we will be contacted on our accessibility to the grant works.
Okay.
So do you have all the passwords and stuff for that?
No,
No?
because we're not on the list.
Yeah, we're gonna get that corrected.
But we have it, I thought we had a Sam's.
Tom has it. Ask Tom later.
Yeah, Tom's in charge.
There's Tom's name on it.
I could have sworn we had a Sam's password.
I've heard that too for months. And we probably did when it was according to Ann and Tom. But
Well, we'll get it corrected. We have the
Okay.
forms to.
we're gonna
send
get
in.
one, we're gonna get a new one when we turn this
Okay.
in.
Yeah, we put it on official letterhead and it just says, here's who we want to update it to, and we'll get that corrected, so.
Okay.
Don't lose our name.
Okay, so let's, just so I don't get caught in a bind here, can I get a motion from council to not renew our subscription through whoever this company is, but to go directly update our SAM information?
So move.
Okay, Doug's
I'll
made a
second.
motion.
Second.
Tracy, second. All in favor?
All right.
Doug?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, council. That way it's official, it's not just my whim. Okay, number 7, discuss and take action on road traffic safety concerns for the intersection of FM 986 and 3486, which on the other side is 249. I got calls, apparently Councilwoman Hibbs got calls, Mayor Pro Tem Fowler got calls, raising concern about that intersection. I provided a document in the packet to council and citizens. Basically,
Those aren't current pictures though, are they?
yes, they are. They took it the other day.
Okay.
Yeah, but the banner's been taken down. So if anybody asks, the banner's gone because the TxDOT supervisor called me and said that that banner can't be there,
Right.
and so it's gone.
Well,
But
what,
other
ba-
than
what
that,
kind of
these
banner
are
was it?
bingo.
Oh, bingo
These are
banner,
only
yeah.
a few days old. They're not that old.
Okay.
So what I was trying to do is kind of get the little sight triangle or whatever, sort of looking to the left, looking to the right, looking straight
Right.
across. I am reminded by this photo that Kaufman TxDOT has done a great job. They put up all new poles all through Poetry.
Warning sign.
They have reflective tape. They have a big sign that says cross traffic doesn't stop, and nice big stop signs. And I did have a conversation with Trooper Hinojosa at the Christmas parade. Coincidentally, he was one of the ones that helped us with traffic.
Yeah.
And he was sharing that he had just worked an accident up there days before our Christmas parade, where a gentleman who was from way up North Texas somewhere was just following Waze that told him this was the fastest way to Kaufman. He got to that intersection. He looked both ways. He saw the truck coming and then thought it was a good idea to pull out in front of it. And it was a pretty terrific wreck. Nobody killed, but the gentleman admitted, I saw the cars. So apparently that sign that says cross traffic doesn't stop wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
And he caused an accident. But I think the real issue is the corner of, remind me of the lady's name?
Ingram.
Ingram,
Roy-
Rose Ingram.
Rose.
So Rose Ingram's corner has a lot of trees and stuff. So as you're approaching, headed towards 3486, when you look to the right towards Terrell, it's clear. When you look to the left, as you approach the intersection, there is a bunch of trees and
Is that
brush.
this right here?
Well,
Yes.
that would,
Yeah.
That view on
that's
the
correct. This
Okay.
is
very
Ann's.
top center.
Yeah, this is her property
Okay.
right
Yeah,
there.
and I've called her, but she has not returned the call.
Yeah, I mean, at least this right in here. So, I mean, you can't hardly see going that way.
Top center.
That's the top one that you can see
Yeah,
better.
so here's looking straight across. I
Yeah.
call that Dollhouse Road, down Dollhouse Road. This is looking towards Terrell.
Mhm.
So it's all clear, everything is nice and low. Her side, and this doesn't really do it justice, you need to be further back, which I am here,
That top.
and you
picture does.
see there's trees. I mean, it's,
And a lot of cedar.
you're not seeing through that stuff. Now, as you get very close to the intersection, now you can almost see the Poetry School. The stuff gets a little bit lower, but there's still a lot of
That's the
stuff
one.
in your sight line
That's
there.
only
Yeah.
the White House beside Salisbury's. You can't
That's
even see the
correct.
School yet.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all the White
Yeah,
House.
no, I'm saying, but it's looking that
Yeah.
direction. So if it were me and I was being asked, well, what's wrong with the intersection? Well, what's wrong? I mean, I think you've got a good sight line this way, good this way, good that way. But in fairness, going that way, when you're
Mhm.
here and you're looking that way, there's a bunch of stuff
Mhm.
kind of blocking that. Now, I don't know if that's the reason. I have a personal opinion I'll express that I have seen over the last 2 years, people, especially coming from 3486 side, not even slow down because there is a pretty good sight picture and just go straight across at 50, 60 mile an hour. So, I mean, trimming trees is not a bad idea. You need the sight triangle and all that. I mean, that's kind of a industry standard.
Yeah.
But I can't
Yeah,
say
it's
with a
still
straight
gonna
face
happen.
that's going to stop people
No,
from
it's
pulling
not.
out. I think people are just making bad decisions in some cases.
Do you think stop signs on all four?
I don't want to start
Well,
shutting
that's-
down
Yeah,
986.
Yeah.
That's TxDOT. They
Yeah.
control that.
Well, normally what they do before they put up stop lights is they'll have the blinking yellow.
Mhm.
Not
No.
stop. I said stop signs.
Well, it has
Yeah.
stop signs, but not on 986.
That's what I'm saying.
She's
Put up a
talking
line.
about
He
forward.
wants a
Yeah.
four-way at 986. Which,
Yeah,
well, I mean, we
Text-
I don't know that it would help.
we
but
lowered what 3 years ago. We lowered the speed limit. The
Yeah.
speed limit on 986 used to be 60. Now it's 50.
Yeah.
Right, starting at like the water tower,
Right.
coming into Poetry, it's 50. So we've lowered the speed. 34. Let's see. The right side is 35. Right, Poetry Road or Lead Line Road is 35.
Mhm.
So that's pretty slow. The 3486 side is somewhere between 50 and 60. For a while there, it was like multiple speeds depending on where you were along the road. But clearly, the 3486 is a much faster.
Is that a speed limit sign right there, or not?
No,
What
don't
is that?
know.
No through traffic sign.
It's probably a no through traffic because that's where we
So-
on trucks.
You should
That's
be
what-
able, it's a TxDOT 986 is a TxDOT road,
That's
which
correct.
includes that intersection.
3486 is a text dot.
So there are traffic specifications for intersections, roadways of line of sight.
That's correct.
So asking to do anything to help this situation, would it be that we reach out to TxDOT to say, what's the specifications that this needs to be? And they may be able to control the brush because it's a line of sight.
Well, on their side, they will. I mean, in the
Yes.
right of way, they will.
In the right of way, they will. But if we do have a little bit more bite to address it with the private owner, because yeah, once you cross the fence, that's private property. So
Well, and TxDOT will tell you their jurisdiction comes, it doesn't end at the edge of the road. It
It
comes
comes in, yeah.
onto the adjoining road, even if it's not their road,
correct.
right? So the pavement on 249, TxDOT actually owns
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
50 feet or so up that road. I'm not allowed to even patch that supposedly, but you know, they said they wouldn't arrest me if I did. But to the point I think that's being made, I think we should take two steps in this. I think one, we should talk to this landowner
Mhm.
and say, listen, there's potentially an issue before we start butchering trees. And
there's a
then I
liabil-
think we go
liability
wake up
issue.
TxDOT, because TxDOT Kaufman, Nick, is real responsive. Because if I wake him up, he may send a crew out there and there won't be a tree left,
Right.
because they've been pretty snappy on things.
And those trees are short. They're not big trees.
Yeah, I don't know if she's married
You-
to him or not. I don't know. I mean, they're her trees.
I mean, you couldn't raise the
at some
canopy on them,
point.
is my point. Like these trees,
Well, it's typically
these
the
trees
cedars
look,
that's
seem
causing
like
the big
short,
problem.
Mm-hmm.
and these trees might be taller, so even if you raise the
Yeah.
canopy, I don't think it would, like.
I don't know. I feel like we have, and I think you probably do too, we have a responsibility to try to make the roads and intersections as safe as we possibly can. We can't idiot proof them. I mean, somebody's
Right.
going to mess up and we can't account for everything, but we should make as good an effort as we can. And especially since we have TxDOT as a partner, and they'll probably do the work for us as part of their stuff. But again, I do think we should talk with Rose and just let her know, listen, and she may already know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
But that's a suggestion a while ago, you know, they do put up those blinking yellow lights that really make it clear there's an intersection.
well, they have one, if you've traveled 3486 at 34, that
Yeah,
stop sign
Exactly,
has, it's motion sensitive and it flashes.
yes.
Well, do y'all
It's got a red
remember
light.
1565 and 276 was a yellow light before it ever became a
Mhm.
red light? You
Yeah,
know, and that was because the
Yeah.
fatalities.
oh, yeah, so many.
Yeah.
But before they put up a red light, stopping light, you know, the very minimum they can do is put up it's not expensive, I don't think, just put
Well-
up those flashing lights.
Yeah, but I think they have to have different poles, and those poles have to
think
be
you
on
have to
all
have
four
that.
Well, there,
corners.
if, I feel pretty confident if we ask Nick to put up a flashing thing, he'll put up a flashing
Yeah.
thing.
But it really is dangerous. All of us have seen this.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, you've got a high rate of speed, right? It's 50, but people are really
well,
doing
coming down
65.
986, Mike, I mean, I see cars coming. I always slow down, not thinking they might not be stopping
Right.
because they
That's
come
what
up
I
fast.
do. I treat it like a four-way. I'm
Yeah.
not going until I see
Well,
everybody
they come
stop.
up on 3486. They come up fast
Yeah.
and then hit the brakes. Well, you know, like you know, don't know if they're going to stop or not.
Well, we probably need a speed limit sign coming across there.
I don't know. I don't think people.
Right in there. Yep.
Well, I feel like there is one down there, but I can't.
That
Yeah.
might be it way down here.
Well, I've had
It's 35.
talking to the individuals, I've always put it to the point when it comes to tree trim and stuff. Look, if you could trim the trees, you know, for us, it's a lot better y'all trimming them than a contractor coming in, butchering them up type thing. So if TxDOT says, well, we can only tell them to trim so far back, then we can mention to see if there's any more trimming for line of sight. So
Yeah. So yeah, approaching Rose Ingram, or that's probably the first step, and then approaching TxDOT about what they can do, whether it's lights or something, is another step.
they could trim, they might even trim some of that easement too around that intersection. That may help too.
Yeah, I think they'll work with us. We have one citizen who wants to speak. Shelley, you want to speak on this?
Hey, yeah. So as I'm headed towards Terrell, when I get close to that intersection, I slow way down because I have no idea. Putting up another sign, they're not paying attention to the sign that's there.
Right.
So I don't know that that's going to work, but I do have a terrible fear that I'm going to start a road rage thing or get rear-ended from slowing down on a road just because I cannot see around that corner. It's incredibly dangerous, and there's been so many accidents. I mean, so many. And we watch, we hear it, we hear the sirens, we watch, we get on and we watch CareFlight, come zooming in. It's pointless when it's so low tech to just cut those things down. And they're not even trees. They're just overgrown shrubs. It's junk. So I think it would be a black eye on poetry if it goes unattended. So
I agree.
anyhow, there you go. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it will not. We'll address it. So, we don't need a motion on this, but let's get an agreement that.
Can I say something? I didn't sign
Yeah,
up.
sure. Go ahead.
If you didn't sign up, oh.
Go ahead.
Thank you for letting me speak without signing up. Scott Lehue, Poetry, Texas. Something that might be, I agree with the trees and the shrubs, but something that might be, wouldn't need hanging and extra poles and all that. A lot of times the stop signs have the flashing red lights on them. That's probably got a solar panel, trickle charge, something or another keeps those
And
going.
I think there's signs that you can put on 986 going down 986 that are yellow.
Right. And it doesn't have, you don't have to have the big
Right.
poles with the suspended lights and all that stuff. It's sort of a lower grade, lower impact sort of thing, but probably easier and cheaper to install. So I just wanted to say that. So
But I think to
Thank
the
you.
point that was earlier made, I mean, I think about Dead Man's Curve down here in
Oh, yeah.
986. That's my name for it. I mean, they've got some big, huge yellow reflective thing, and people keep running off that thing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not the sharpest turn in Hunt County. I don't understand why they can't get around that curve without.
Uncommon sense.
Well, I don't know. It's just not. But let's do everything in our power. So,
Yeah.
It's because they're on this.
Dale, would you be willing to, let's kind of fork this in two paths. I'll talk with TxDOT with Nick about all the different options that we've discussed tonight, a flashing reminder on both stop signs on either side, about clearing the trees to get the sight line, the sight triangle improved. I personally don't want us to start putting stop signs on 986 or 1565, either one. I think that will be,
Yeah.
it's not going to fix anything, and it's just, I mean, putting
It's
the
just
red
gonna
light at
create
Tiger Mart
wrecks.
didn't stop people getting killed.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right,
create
they didn't.
wrecks.
It just, it's,
Even the red light doesn't.
so if you'll do that, Dale,
I'll
if
do
you'll talk
it.
to Rose and then
Rose.
report back, and we'll share that with council, and I'll check with TxDOT, and then we'll have a follow-up at the next meeting as to what we did. But I definitely think we can make a couple little changes there that'll help, because I agree with Shelley that, as you're approaching that intersection, you try to look up that little county road and you really can't see. I mean, you just see trees. You have no idea if there's an 18-wheel barreling
Right.
down, or, you can't even react. At least on the 3486, you can look and see. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's slowing down, or
Yeah.
I think I'm
I
okay.
agree.
But, bottom line, again, just my opinion, people are using that route as a bypass to get from 276 to Kaufman. I mean, that's just
It's a bypass between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
What it's designed to do.
yeah, they're using it as a cut through, and the better we pave it and keep it up, the faster they're going to come through here. So it's kind of a mixed thing. Okay, so no action on 7 officially, other than what I just stated. Moving on to general public comments. Shelley, you signed it.
I'm good.
Okay, Shelley waves her right to public comment. Kenny, anybody else got anything to say? Okay, meeting adjourned 8:04 p.m. Thank you, council. Thank
Mike,
you.
Thank
the
you.
clock again fell backwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
well,
guess it needs a little bit of maintenance.
yeah, duct tape is, okay.
It doesn't connect to that line. The city limit sign, the city limit border does not connect down here.
Because, you come in between the.
That's the city limit.